Hello dear friends, this is Shiva here, and this part of video we are going to see SAP S4HANA accelerated plan to product, that is manufacturing. So it covers the our production planning and execution scenarios, right? So we are going into in deep on the production planning part. So yeah, let's start. So normally, manufacturing is under increasing pressure to deliver faster, better, and smarter solutions. From the rise of additive manufacturing and robotics to e-commerce and same-day delivery. The list of technology and market trends reshaping the manufacturing functions is only growing. These disruptions create a new challenges for the classical manufacturing, especially around the production planning process, right? We can take this as a challenge. As a recent trends, actually, we have many challenges to be accomplished to successfully bring the completion of any manufacturing of the product. So, but as a new technologies present new challenges, they also present new opportunities. 3D printing may be disrupting centralized manufacturing, but it also gives manufacturers more freedom to bring new, more complex geometrical designs that have been difficult to create with subtractive manufacturing techniques, all while reducing the inventory levels, time to market, and waste. By simplifying underlying data model of their manufacturing systems, companies can better tap into the data supply and capitalize on the new trends. All of this is now possible with the application support that allows for the streamlined agile manufacturing, or which can be possible with SAP S4HANA. The SAP S4HANA has come a long way since its first iteration as a purely financial model with the SAP Simple Finance, now actually renamed as Enterprise Management. S4HANA. So starting with the 1511 release, we began focusing on a simplified supply chain and manufacturing solutions, architectures, and data models. Now with the release of 1610, we are taking this enhancement and innovations to another level. In this video, I want to discuss or focus on the material requirements planning MRP, the process by which a manufacturing company analyzes its sales order, demand forecast, and inventory to determine which materials and components it need to purchase, produce in-house, or transfer from the neighboring plant to deliver on its order commitments. Not only the MRP, we are going to see production, execution, everything. So the main difference between the classical ERP and SAP S4HANA, in the classical ERP solution, MRP has been extremely effective in the in offering manufacturing customers with the basic production planning capabilities that were quick to implement and easy to use. The downside is that MRP assumes infinite manufacturing resources. MRP lacks of acknowledgement of production environment constraints such as skilled labor pool or manufacturing capacity, sets up an obviously unrealistic scenario that must be addressed by the secondary applications such as production planning and detailed scheduling (PP/DS) in an advanced planning and optimization (SAP APO). This is one of the manufacturing inefficiencies we are addressing with the release of 1610 release. Okay. And to better illustrate the difference between old and new ERP systems or SAP system, let us look at the hypothetically bicycle manufacturer called bikes or so let us say the speed bikes gets an order to build a bicycle and deliver it by noon on the same day. Let's also assume for simplicity that bill of material BOM of speed bikes consists of only three components. In the classical ERP solution, the sales order is passed on to the MRP, which exports it into the BOM. compares that against the inventory levels, and then determines what components need to be built in-house, transferred from another plants, or ordered externally to deliver the bicycle. Taking into account the dependability between the different BOM levels, MRP works its way backward from the delivery data and builds a production plan. That's all fine. But now let us assume that one of the production lines used to build the wheels is unavailable or occupied between 9:30 to 10:30, and supply chain cannot be installed until the wheels are ready because of the dependency. The classical ERP solution in MRP would not be able to deal with such a constraint because of its assumptions of infinite resources. So the MRP controller now has to rely on an advanced production solution such as SAP Advanced Planning and Optimization APO to build the constraint based plan for the wheels, and then back into MRP to consolidate both plans. It is a cumbersome process, right? Time consuming process that slows down the production. If we look at the same scenario using SAP S/4HANA, that now has both constraint and unconstrained based planning embedded in one system, we see much simpler and more efficient process. Now, an MRP controller can build the entire bicycle and factor in the constraints on a particular material in a single place. In addition to being obviously simpler for the controller in terms of time, effort, and user experience. There are fewer errors in terms of transferring and consolidating the data between the two systems. So, in case of innovation beyond the integration, we have done one more than the advanced functionalities from other areas of SAP portfolio and embedded them into the SAP S/4HANA. We are also delivering new innovations and functionality. One example of innovation is that we are bringing with MRP is a truckload optimized purchase orders via the Fury app. Okay. And if your company places multiple orders for different materials with the same vendor, the truckload optimization app can bundle these orders in a way that optimizes the shipments of this material. The app allows the MRP controller to enter into the load capacity of the trucks that the vendor uses to transfer the materials to your site, and the app, considering the priority of the materials, optimize them so that they consume fewer trucks or fewer shipments from the vendor. Of course, the vendor bill for every truck transactions. So by minimizing the number of transactions, you can save on supply chain and transportation costs, and at the same time ensure that you are fulfilling the orders of the highest priority among your sales orders. So the next level of efficiency will be essentially when you look at the changes of that SAP S/4HANA has brought to production planning. It has simplified things by integrating constraints and unconstrained planning, and it has offered users new capabilities and innovations that will make a big difference in the manufacturing efficiency and effectiveness and the overall ability to respond to the new technology and the market trends. So when you are discussing about SAP manufacturing, so we need to go for manufacturing basis, master data simplification, then material master, bill of materials and production versions, work centers, then removed and interim solution manufacturing functionality, material requirement planning, performance improvements, simplified sourcing, material requirements planning cockpit, and manage material coverage app and monitor production orders, internal movements, and external requirements, net segments and net or individual segments, monitor material coverage, display MRP material issues, management of change requests. So actually here this video is not for teaching in depth of production planning, because SAP, as we are talking about SAP S/4HANA, we are just comparing the existing ERP with the SAP S/4HANA. So the consultant, bear in mind, actually the consultant should know the basics of SAP production planning. So based on that, the discussion was taken further. So let's move on to the topics of SAP manufacturing. So most of the functionality enabled by SAP S/4HANA in the manufacturing spaces falls in the traditional SAP ERP production planning module. In some cases, the functionality is very similar to the SAP Business Suite, but has been enabled via Fury apps. Okay. However, some new functionalities has been added to enhance planning and production, execution, business process, everything. So today's manufacturing world faces numerous challenges such as short lead time and end customer short lead times with the end customer and ever increasing complexity in customer requirements, rapid changes in manufacturing technologies, and growing number of regulations. The SAP S/4HANA offers many great tools to help the manufacturer adapt to the always changing manufacturing landscape. SAP S/4HANA allows for more modern and advanced planning tool so the organization can better plan, manage and monitor productions. Performance improvement in the traditional MRP programs allows for planning departments to see the data in the near real time and react accordingly. These performance improvements also allows for planning department to perform more what if analysis. In discussing manufacturing, this video highlights the business process enabled by the SAP S/4HANA manufacturing functionality. It begins with an overview of manufacturing process and explains the important master data simplifications, the material master and bill of materials BOM. So this video then explores the manufacturing functionality, that is material requirement planning MRP, and the production. So calling attention to places where substantial improvement have taken place to relevant operational and analytical report and SAP Furia. So at the end of this video, we can explain the manufacturing reports on equipment effectiveness and real-time manufacturing the data. So manufacturing basis. Within SAP S/4HANA, the fundamental production planning functionality has not been changed. The SAP S/4HANA offers enhanced functionality to make the process more robust, and addition of SAP Fury apps allows for an improved end-user experience. These SAP Fury apps address the traditionally limited functionality in SAP ERP, such as capacity planning and MRP exception management, okay, and master data simplification. This video highlights the specific master data functionality in SAP S/4HANA. Within manufacturing in SAP S/4HANA, changes have been introduced to the material master format and some of the structured data on the MRP views. A significant change with SAP S/4HANA is a requirement in production planning to have production versions for all the produced materials. So Material Master, a number of changes have been made to the Material Master within the SAP S/4HANA. The first change is the ability to determine the Material Master character length. This is configurable value that defaults to 18 characters but can be extended to as many as 40 characters in SAP S/4HANA. This was already discussed. So the configuration can be edited via the logistic control material master basics settings define output format for the material number. So we already know about the material number format and everything, right? So in SAP S/4HANA we have 40 character 40 character length in material master, okay, of the material code. Additionally, changes exist in the material master on the MRP tabs. On the MRP1 tab, the lot size unit of measure group have been removed. Within the retail industry, within the retail industry set, this functionality is still enabled. Okay, in our standard manufacturing or whatever actually discrete manufacturing or repetitive manufacturing or a standard manufacturing, we have in the MRP view of material measure in the MRP tab, MRP1 tab, the lot size unit of measure group has been removed. Whereas in retail industry set for SAP S/4HANA, this functionality, the MRP1 tab with lot size unit of measure group field is still enabled in for the retail. So in on MRP2 tab, the quota arrangement field has been removed as SAP S/4HANA already or always considers quota arrangement active. So MRP2 view does not contain quota arrangement field in case of SAP S/4HANA. So, and then changes in the MRP4 view include the addition of repetitive manufacturing, assembly or deployment strategy grouping. Okay, and the following fields have been removed from MRP views: action consoles, far share rules, push distribution, and deployment horizons. Okay, so in case of bill of material and production versions, a very significant change has been made in SAP S/4HANA regarding the usage of BOMs and production versions. Going forward, the bill of material, that is BOM determination, can only occur via a valid production version. Customizing for the data validity determination is no longer leveraged for the BOM exclusion. Only BOMs with valid production versions are considered during the BOM exclusion. Therefore, the valid production versions is needed for the BOM exclusion. Once I am repeating that, in case the bill of material and production version, a very significant change has been made in SAP S/4HANA regarding the usage of BOMs and production versions. Going forward, BOM determination can only occur via the valid production versions. Customizing for data validity determination is no longer leveraged for the BOM exclusion. Only BOMs with valid production versions are considered during the BOM exclusion. Therefore, a valid production version is needed for the BOM exclusion. Maintaining the production version helps combine BOM and routing data, which allows for more streamlined processing in the future. The customizing that determines the items valid for the BOM exclusion now has the default value of 2, that is version with the latest valid from date. So this customizing is available for production define modification parameter, basic data, bill of material, control data for bill of material. Okay. So after discussing about the items valid for the BOM exclusion and default value of 2, that is version with the latest valid from the date. Okay. So we have discussed about the settings available. Then we are going to discuss about after discussing the customizing BOM parameters. The BOM function remains the same in SAP S/4HANA and leverage the same existing transaction code. So same like our BOM from the guy. Okay. So so there is not a major difference with a small, with minor change in fields. And then work centers. As an SAP Fury app called Work Center has been developed to help display and manage work centers. It provides detailed information for each work center and help manage capacity, existing and upcoming operations and queuing operations. The Work Center app provides detailed information such as a plant and work center category, as well as overview information such as the current capacity utilization. Okay, so this talks about the Work Center app with the general information tab. The Work Center app also provide information on what operations are scheduled for the work center for the day on the day on today's operations. So we have today's operation tab for work center app, and then general information tab for work center, and we have many views in work center, right? Same like ECC, we have many views in SAP for HANA. So modifications and management of work center data are still available in the SAP business suite by using existing work center management transactions. Okay, so there is no big change. Okay, standard routing functionality exists via SAP via the GUI, which includes creation, change, and display of routing for the produce material. Okay, so that is also fine. And then, so when you are talking about the removed and interim solutions manufacturing functionality, a new functions in the manufacturing have been removed in the SAP S4 HANA, right? The storage locations MRP is not possible in SAP S4 HANA. SAP S4 HANA can plan only at the plant and MRP area level and not at the storage location level in SAP S4 HANA. In addition, net change planning inside the planning horizon, that is processing key NETPL, right, is not available in SAP S4 HANA. Functionalities that have not been removed but are considered interim solutions, including logistic information systems (LIS), sales and operation planning (SOPs), which is replaced with IBP, and forecast based planning (MRP) type VB, which is replaced by the MRP type planning. Okay, and material requirement planning. Okay, MRP has been completely overhauled in the SAP S4 HANA. MRP is a established technology used by many companies over many years in the past that is dependent on the long running jobs and only provides static information on a daily or a weekly basis. With the performance enhancement to the MRP jobs and the introduction of SAP Fury app MRP cockpit, the planning function has been redefined in the SAP S4 HANA. So the section highlights the performance changes and their impacts on how MRP is run, as well as the simplified sourcing functionality. We will also deep dive into the new SAP Fury apps used within the MRP cockpit and how many influence planner operations. Okay, so these are the simplifications and innovations in case of material requirement planning and performance improvement. Many factors influence the duration of MRP run, such as the number of materials, the complexity of the bombs, and the total dependent requirements. To speed up the performance of MRP runs, SAP has removed the aggregation functionality. Aggregated aggregation functions traditionally stored in the tables ROHD and ROTT, right? So, in addition to the table MDRI, okay, the simplified sourcing with SAP S/4HANA, the process of source determination has been simplified significantly. The possible source of supply have been reduced to the following production versions: delivery schedules, purchasing, purchasing contracts, and purchase info records. Okay, PARs. Here are some of the examples of functional changes. Production versions are the only source of supply for the in-house production materials. The material master attribute selection method has been removed and table field marci ALTSL, right. So subsequently routings are determined via the production versions versus previously allowed function in the SAP business suite logic. For the purchased material, the functionalities for source list and quota arrangements have also been changed. The quota arrangement are always considered and the source list management has been changed. If a valid purchasing contract or info record exists, MRP will consider this record even if it is not updated in the source list. So, material requirement planning cockpit. So, redefining the MRP process includes more than the changes to the technical mechanics of MRP run. It also includes the completely redefined user experience for the material planners. The MRP cockpit is a series of SAP Fury apps developed to provide the planning group with all the relevant information in one convenient location. The MRP cockpit can be customized for each MRP controllers. Within this SAP Fury app, the material planner can view and react to all the material planning situations, including material shortages, upcoming material shortages, delayed inbound material, and current stock situations. And then manage material coverage app. This manage material coverage app is very similar to our traditional MRP stock requirement list view transaction. This SAP Fury apps allows planning to see the current stock situation for the material in the linear model. It shows all the planning objects in SAP S/4HANA and allows the planner to make decisions on the material positions. The Manage Material Coverage app also offers a display of inventory positions in the chart format. The chart format display shows a linear model by day of inventory positions. When inventory positions drops below zero, this acts as an indicator to the planning group that action is needed to resolve the potential shortage. Okay. So we have the manage material coverage app and manage material coverage app with the table views. So all are available. And this SAP Fury apps also offers material information. The material information tab shows inventory positions via stock availability status bar. Red, yellow, green charts kind of color indication is available to note the inventory position status bar, inventory positions. And inventory position status bar is a common tool offered in numerous planning apps. Okay. So we have manage material coverage app, that is material view. The change planned order app in SAP is for HANA allows a planner to change planned orders directly from SAP app landing page. All of the standard functionality to modify a planned order in the SAP business suite exists in the change planned order app. Functions such as firming the planned order or changing the dates are also available in this app. Okay. So you have change planned order op, and then actually change planned order, detailed scheduling tabs. All these are available. So the display production order app in SAP S/4HANA allows the planner to view the production orders. This app is very similar to the transaction COO03. The monitor production orders. Okay. The monitor production order app is provided to allow the planners to view the relevant production orders to determine if all the productions on the all the production is on schedule for completion. Okay. Monitor internal movements. With monitor internal requirements app, you can ensure that components are available in the right quantity and in right time, so that internal requirements originating from production orders, process orders, maintenance order and network orders can be fulfilled. You can specify shortage definition to determine which receipts and requirements are included in the coverage calculation, as well as time horizon to limit the scope you want to check. Okay. So we have many monitor production orders apps are available, monitor internal requirements app. So then actually we are going to discuss about the monitor external requirements. So with the monitor external requirement app, we can monitor the uncovered requirements originating from the sales orders and stock transport orders in the selected area of responsibility. You can specify the you can specify the shortage definition and time horizon to determine which uncovered external requirement you want to check. Okay. So this we have kind of graphic kind of thing to determine the shortage of external requirements and everything. And net segment and net individual segments. When using the net segment app, all of the planning elements active for the material are summed and displayed as a one total line. When using the net or individual segment app, the specific planning elements that are influencing the planning run are displayed on each line. And monitor material coverage. With this SAP Fury app, you can monitor all the materials in the selected area of responsibility. You can specify the shortage definition to determine which um, which of the materials have shortages. You can use default filter time still shortage to check the coverage of materials within the specific time frame. Okay. And the display MRP material issues. Okay. With this SAP Fury app, you can view the materials which has issues in the last MRP run. This tool is used by production planners to verify that all materials in the scope of planning have been planned or not. So certain data settings or unintentional system settings can prevent the items from being planned. So this app, right? So display material app issues, which shows the what material were excluded from the planning run. This app also includes the needed information to address the issue that prevented the item from being planned. Okay, that is about the display material MRP material issue app. And then actually we have management of change request. So management of change request is a suite of SAP Fury apps that allow for a smooth handoff between planning and the procurement. This function allows planners to view procurement items and propose changes to the purchased items. These changes go to the procurement department and our vendor for approvals. With the manage change request app, you can follow up on changes you have requested from your vendor, as well as place request for the changes you have collected. You create a change request when using the app for managing materials or uncovered requirements. You can request that vendor change the quantity or delivery data in purchase order or stock transport order so that the material availability can be ensured and customer requirement can be fulfilled. At the end of the process, you either apply the changes which automatically update the order, or you can discard the request. The change requests are managed in the three status, that is new, requested and answered. Okay, there is a unique SAP Fiori app for the each status in addition to an app for all the status changes. So managed status change app will have three different status. And so let's move on to the next version. So the integrated production planning and demand scheduling. Okay, another major advancement or achievement or advancement in SAP S4 HANA is the inclusion of the traditional advanced planning and optimization APO production planning and demand scheduling PP/DS functionality. These functionality is included in the standard SAP S4 HANA offering. This embedded functionality still requires core interface CAF to send master data to PP/DS, but the transactional data and execution are available in PP/DS in the real time. In addition, a number of SAP Fiori apps have been included to help and manage the PPDS functionality, and then manage capacity utilization. The monitor capacity utilization app is included to help to monitor the resources within the specific responsibility specific responsibility group. The list provides you with a quick coverage view of which resources are already being fully utilized or have capacity overload, so you can react quickly to the critical situations. Furthermore, you can easily discern which resources have a capacity under load and whose utilization is in normal range. And then we have production scheduling board. The production scheduling board app provides access to model mix planning from PPDS. The functionality is the functionality is planned as the long-term replacement for many SAP ERP classic planning functionalities. Okay, so these are the advantages of production scheduling boards. And then we have demand-driven replenishment. So in SAP S/4HANA, introduced the concept of demand-driven replenishment to offer a new tool to help modern organization changes. Demand-driven replenishment provides the ability to classify the products according to the demand history versus traditional forecasting. Demand-driven replenishment consists of a number of steps. First, in the identification and categorization of relevant materials for the demand-driven replenishment. Second is the determination of buffer stock levels. Third is the execution of demand-driven MRP and review of MRP results. The steps mentioned above are supported by the number of SAP Fiori apps. The identification and categorization of demand-driven replenishment material is supported by the scheduled product classifications, mass maintenance of products, and scheduled lead time classification of products apps, right? The determination of buffer stock level is supported by the scheduled buffer proposal calculation and manage buffer levels app. The running of demand-driven MRP is executed using the standard MRP cockpit suite for apps. Okay, and now actually we are going to discuss about the production execution. Within SAP S/4HANA offering, there have been a number of updates to the traditional shop floor execution. Most of the core SAP ERP functionalities exist as it has over many years, but some critical elements and SAP Fury apps have been offered to help manage scrap, production orders, and repetitive manufacturing and um, shop floor control. Okay, to make the end user interface easier to use, a production order confirmation SAP Fury app has been provided. In addition, a dashboard application for monitoring production orders has been enabled. The production order confirmation app is displayed for capturing time and materials used in the production process. This app is similar to the traditional business suite CO 11N transaction codes for confirmations, right? So, with this SAP Fury apps, you can monitor the status of production orders or process orders. Two tiles are provided for this app, one for each order type. In this list, you can view whether the material. So, in this demand-driven replenishment, the SAP S/4HANA introduced the concept of demand-driven replenishment to offer a new tool to help modern organizational changes. Demand-driven replenishment provides the ability to classify the products according to the demand history versus traditional forecasting. Demand-driven replenishment consists of number of steps. First is the identification and categorization of relevant materials for the demand-driven replenishment. Second is the determination of buffer stock levels. Third is the execution of demand-driven MRP and review of MRP results. The steps mentioned above are supported by the number of SAP Fiori apps. The identification and categorization of demand-driven replenishment material is supported by the scheduled product classification, mass maintenance of products, and scheduled lead time classification of the products app. The determination of buffer stock level is supported by the schedule buffer proposal calculation and manage buffer levels apps. The running of demand driven MRP is executed using the standard MRP cockpit suite of apps. Okay, and then production execution. With SAP S/4HANA offering, there have been a number of updates to the traditional shop floor execution. Most of the core SAP ERP functionalities exist as it has over many years, but some critical elements and SAP Fury apps have been offered to help to manage the scraps, production orders, and repetitive manufacturing. Okay, and now we are going to discuss about the shop floor control. So now we are discussing about the shop floor control. To make the end user interface easier to use, a production order confirmation SAP Fury app has been provided. In addition, a dashboard application for monitoring production orders has been enabled. The production order confirmation app is displayed for capturing time and material used in the production process. This app is similar to the traditional business suite CO11N transaction code. Okay, with this SAP Fury app, you can monitor the status of products. The status of the production orders or process orders. Two tiles are provided for this app, one for each order type. Okay, in the list you can view whether the material will be finished too late for the pegged requirements. whether the components required for this material won't be available in time, and whether the milestones and operations are delayed. The system determines whether the materials will be finished too late based on the shortage definitions you select. You can filter to limit the scope of your selection, right? So this helps the production. I mean, this is about the production order confirmation app. Okay, the scrap management within SAP S4HANA, a series of scrap reports and scrap monitoring tools have been enabled that help production leadership in managing the root cause of scrap within the production process. Right, the scrap reasons with the scrap reason app, you receive alerts on the key performance indicators KPIs, and you can perform a step-by-step data analysis from different perspectives to identify the root cause for scrap in your production process, right? So why the scrap is increasing and how to control that. So all these things can be yeah, you can get from the um, or identified on the root cause why the scrap has been created. So this report, scrap report, helps you to provide with information on the distribution of actual scrap recorded in the production confirmations in the dimension of time, work center, material, plant, and reason for variances. Okay, as a production engineer, you can analyze this confirmed scrap and rework by analyzing the reason or root causes of the greatest loss of production. You can prevent problems in the future. The initial screen of the scrap reason app displays the scrap percentage, I mean percentages based on the work centers in the functional area of the app user. Okay. So the scrap reason app, right? The scrap reason app can be manipulated in the number of ways. First, you have a number of alternative data points. So the following is a list of standard scrap reporting metrics offered in the scrap reasons app. Okay, scrap and rework percentage by work centers. That is a stacked chart. So displays the total of scrap and rework material issued to the production orders for the corresponding work centers in the bar chart format, and yield scrap and rework quantity by entry time, that is line chart, right, shows the three critical production outputs: production yield quantity, and scrap quantity and rework quantity. In one line chart, the output aggregates the total quantities based on the selection criteria. Yield, scrap, and rework percentage by entry time, that is line chart, shows the three critical production outputs, that is production yield percentage, scrap percentage, and rework percentage. In one line chart, right, this output aggregates the total quantities based on the selection criteria. And then work center, so scrap and rework quantities stacked chart shows the scrap and rework quantities per work center in the bar chart format. Material scrap and rework quantity, that is stacked chart, shows the scrap and rework quantities per material in the bar chart format. Material scrap and rework percentage, that is stacked chart, shows the scrap and rework percentage per material in the bar chart format. Scrap by reason code, that is donut chart. So it's like donut. I mean, you know that donut, right? It's a kind of yeah, I mean round circle chart with the central space in that. So it's a kind of donut chart. Okay. So shows the total scrap as a percentage based on the scrap reasons code entered in the pie chart format. Okay, material scrap by reason code, that is tabular view, shows the total scrap as a percentage based on the scrap reason code entered in the table view format. All measures and dimensions, that is in tabular view, shows the yield, scrap, and rework values across all the impact work centers in the table view format. Okay, so these are the different types of display options for the scrap reasons app. Okay, so the reports can be displayed in both the bar and line chart format. The reports can be filtered based on the number of criteria such as material, plant, reporting period, and work centers. So uh, material scrap with the material scrap app, you can compare the actual scrap figures recorded in the production confirmation with the expected scrap that was defined in the material. Okay, so it allows you to implement a feedback loop for updating the expected scrap percentage in the material. So this app shows a materials whether the expected scrap percentage most differs from the actual scrap percentage. Okay, so that will give the material scrap app. Okay, and operation scrap, with the operation scrap app you can compare the actual scrap figures recorded in the production confirmations with the expected scrap that was defined in the route. So excess component consumption. Okay, with the excess component consumption app, you can compare the expected component scrap percentage defined in the BOM item with the actual excess consumption recorded in the production confirmation. You can analyze the problems that created the large excess component consumptions in the past and search for means to prevent these problems in the future. Excess component consumptions put the component supply at risk but can be lowered by using this SAP Fury app. Starting from the top three materials with maximum component scrap deviation, you perform a step-by-step analysis for the specific time period and uncover the numerous insights to improve your planning and take further appropriate actions to achieve a more reliable component supply for the production. So So now actually we are having the reporting in manufacturing. So the majority of reporting changes in SAP S/4HANA in the manufacturing space are contained in SAP Fury apps or as described in the the preceding explanations, right? This includes enhanced analytics on MRP and scrap measurements. The SAP Overall Equipment Effectiveness Management Report is an enhanced reporting function in SAP S/4HANA. So the following subsections will detail the functionality offered for SAP OP management reporting. Okay, so that is overall equipment effectiveness. Sorry, OEE, right? Overall effectiveness management. Okay, the SAP OEE in short. Overall equipment effectiveness management reporting is an industry standard reporting concept that combines the information from production and maintenance to determine how well production operations are performing. Traditional manufacturing metrics focus on yield and scrap performance without taking maintenance or quality results into consideration to get an overall understanding of the production. SAP Overall Equipment Effectiveness Management Reporting attempt to integrate these components to help plant management understand the production throughput, the quality of the goods produced, and the effective management of the equipment used in the production process. The SAP overall equipment effectiveness management reporting attempts to break down the complex manufacturing quality and maintenance metrics into few KPIs, which quickly allow for analysis of data and corrective action. SAP Overall Equipment Effectiveness Management offering does require integration into SAP Manufacturing Integration and the Manufacturing Integration and Intelligence MII, right? Software component as a prerequisite for using SAP Fury apps offered. Okay, the SAP, that is what I am saying. SAP OEE management offering does require the integration into SAP MII, that is Manufacturing Integration and Intelligence Software Components, as a prerequisite for using the SAP Fury App software. When using the SAP OEE management reporting tool, the plant level analysis app is run to show the overall performance of the shop floor. The report utilizes predetermined color coding to indicate if indicate if a production line is operating effectively. If the color coding is showing green, then the shop floor operation are executing as expected. If the indicators are showing yellow or red, these indicators deviates that should be addressed. Okay, so that shows a plant level indicators. So we have a kind of a striped bars with color indicators. Okay, if you investigate the line level information based on the analysis of the plant level, more detailed information and the line specific KPIs are provided. The line specific KPI shows the line capacity, the quality and performance of the line, and SAP overall equipment effectiveness management KPI for that line. So based on the information obtained in the line level, the corrective action can be planned either by changing the production utilization on the line or by planning a maintenance on the equipment. So work centers for SAP OEE management reporting. Okay, SAP OEE management reporting is a tool that can help manage the shop floor with a focus on integrated and holistic performance. This functionality is enabled via SAP S4 HANA as a standard offering with the integration of SAP MII manufacturing integration intelligence. It allows the plant level leadership to quickly review how the plant is operating and react to the data points quickly. It supports lean operations and best practices in the manufacturing space. Okay, and now we are going to discuss about the demand-driven material requirements planning. So whenever the demand is created, the MRP is triggered to run to determine the requirements planning and bring the material into the plant. So the MRP functionality and technology have been major tool used by the companies for more than 50 years. A business change in technology used to help planning needs to evolve, as well as SAP S4HANA introduced the concept of demand-driven MRP (DDMRP) to offer a new tool to help the modern organization changes. DDMRP uses strategically placed inventory buffers to decouple demands and supply, breaking the direct connection between dependencies. This dramatically reduces the lead time and enable you to plan against the actual demand, that is sales orders. Ironically, to protect and promote flows, you must strategically and purposefully slow or interrupt flow at certain critical points. So, in a summary, the manufacturing functionality in SAP S4HANA have been significantly improved over the functionality in the traditional SAP business suite. The key changes are performance improvement to MRP and corresponding SAP Fury apps to monitor and enable MRP functionality. The changes in the MRP after the core process material planners will perform in the daily activities. The change will allow for the real-time interaction with MRP and the ability to react immediately. The inclusion of the embedded APO PP bar DS functionality allows for the production schedules to interact in SAP in a real time. So finally, the inclusion of SAP Fury apps in the manufacturing spaces have altered the end user experience and can be tailored to end user needs. These SAP Fury apps provide a single point of entry and processing for all the production employee needs. So SAP PP is also integrated with SAP WM in case of SAP S4 HANA. So WM functionality is also considered, which already we discussed in our early chapters, right? So the new SAP implementations or migrations on SAP S4 HANA 1610 versions or higher versions or recent versions, right? So when we upgrade or migrate from SAP ECC 6 to SAP S4 HANA, we need to take into consideration some of the prerequisites which SAP has published in the simplification list. In the simplification list document, the features that are available, the functionality added, and those functionalities that are being stopped and shared. During the migration activities, some of the important facts need to be shared with the client also. Some of the important features related to the manufacturing area are mentioned, right? So, I mean, I already discussed actually about the MRP 1 view, 2 view, and MRP 4 view, and the MRP, new MRP, all these things. So the sequential steps to migrate in image. So we are discussing about that step by step. So in we have yeah, preparation phase and realization phase, and then actually we have the first step is a system requirement, and then maintenance planner, then pre-checks and custom code preparation as a fourth step or a fourth phase, and then software update management SUM, and then application specific follow up activities. So these are the different six phases or six activities available. And then during the system requirement, it is a Unicode conversion. So that comprises of the cross application and application specific preparation activities. So that covers the simplification activity list covering the maintenance planner, pre-checks and custom code. So includes this cross application and application specific preparation activities includes the preparation of financial data, and the software update manager SUM includes database migration, software update and data conversion. Okay, and application specific follow-up activities includes the migration of FI customizing and data. Okay, so these comprises of the project activities while migrating from ECC to S4 HANA. And I already told the functionalities about the manufacturing areas, right? So the length of the material code is now 18 character and it is examined in ECC and now extended to 40 character in SAP S4 HANA. Some of the changes in material requirement planning views in 1, 2 and 4, or say for example in MRP 1 view, unit of measure group which is used in the retail and not in the manufacturing oriented thing, which is used only in retail only in MRP1. And I think this page will be a recap of whatever we discussed. And MRP considers the quota arrangement. So the quota arrangement usage in MRP2 view, and selection of BOM and routing is based on the production versions. So the selection method is already, I mean, I discussed in MRP4 view, and action control, fair share rule, push distribution, deployment horizon is a part of repetitive manufacturing or assembly manufacturing. Another part is a storage location tab for the storage location MRP planning, right? So the storage location MRP is not at all available in SAP S4 HANA, and henceforth all the above mentions are not activated. The material requirement is simplified in the SAP S/4HANA versions, and transactions related to the logistic badge management have been replaced by enjoy transactions, that is MSC 1N, MSC 2N, MSC 3N, and MSC 4N. So which are properly mapped with the Fury apps and everything. And then MRP, instead of a classical MRP, now in SAP S/4HANA we have MRP Live. So MRP Live is one of the important versions in material management planning, requirement planning. So it reads the material receipt and requirements, calculate the shortages, and then creates a planned order, and then purchase requisition if material is not available. And some of the advantages of MRP Live are as follows. Okay, so it allows to plan the set of materials specified for the MRP planner, and also different for the different plans. And we can also plan the group of materials assigned to the product group. And MRP Live plans the materials sequentially by determining the requirements and across different plans. It is also prerequisite for future proposed solution like PP/DS in SAP S/4 HANA. So some difference in classical MRP and MRP Live, or it does not write the MRP list in MRP Live, and make to order planning, that is MD50, is not optimized in HANA, and project related planning MD51 is not optimized in HANA, and purchase requisitions are created for the materials which are defined for the external procurement. Purchase requirement indicator or as available in classic is not available in the MRP live. Okay, and also delivery schedule lines are created automatically based on the valid delivery schedules. Delivery schedule line indicator is not available in the MRP live, and then planning file entry logic has been simplified and optimized in SAP S/4HANA. So for consistency and update performance. MRP always determines the shortage and requirements of all the known materials. MRP does not support the NETPL as already discussed, that is net change planning in the planning horizon. MRP live does not consider the forecast based planning, but it marks up the requirement and sends the information to be processed in the classic ABAP based planning. These affects the performance. The forecast demand and the planned independent requirements are similar. Okay, but one thing, SAP S/4HANA avoids the redundant data functionality. So the forecasted information should be passed to the demand as a planned independent requirement, and the MRP type should be VV. ABAP list based PI sheets have to be replaced by the browser based PI sheets. Currently, there is no other alternative. Currently in the system, XStub based process instructions are available in SAP S/4HANA and are to be used for the characteristic based process instructions. Another functionality is MRP related to the subcontracting. For every subcontracting vendor, we need to maintain the subcontracting vendor as one of the MRP areas. For every part provided to the subcontractor, a new area specific master data is not required to be created every time. Okay, these are the changes from the classical. These are the advantages or changes of MRP live over the classical MRP. Okay, and the sales operation planning, right, is going to be replaced by the integrated business planning (IBP). IBP supports the features of SOP sales operation planning like forecasting, multi-level planning, along with some advanced features like advanced statistical forecasting, multi-level supply planning, an optimizer. Okay, and the collaboration tools using an Excel based user interface and web based UIs, that is user interfaces. There are many more features and functionalities that are going to be come with latest versions of SAP S/4HANA and even in the near future new versions. Many of the interfaces like manufacturing execution and manufacturing intelligence and integration, plant connectivity are going to be the advanced features in the manufacturing area that are going to be seen. Yeah, will give you a big change. Okay, and actually, as already told, actually, let me show the screen of MRP1 unit of measure group. In case of ECC, we have this unit of measure group, and in SAP S/4HANA in the right side. So we are not having any unit of measure group highlighted in the yellow color. So next one, the MRP2 quota arrangement. In case of classical or ECC, we have the quota arrangement indicator is available, and then in case of um, S/4HANA Material Master, we are not having the quota arrangement indicator available, and then in MRP4 we have the selection method for bomb explosion or defendant requirement, that field is available. Where in case of SAP S/4HANA, the selection method is not available in the MRP4 screen. So these are the major differences in case of Material Master is concerned. Okay, for the ERP and S/4HANA, and in case of the MRP, right, MD02 single item multi-level planning. So here actually we have NETCH. Okay, so that is available for the process key, whereas in case of you can see the difference, right? NETCH is available in NEDPLP, NEUPLG, where this right hand side will show the say for example the SAP is for HANA MRP live screen. So here actually we are not having say we are not having the uh, say NETPL is not available. We are having only NETCH and NUPL is available. So these are the main difference. We here you can see in ECC screen we have three entries, and in case of S4HANA MRP live screen we have only two entries for the processing keys for the for the MD0 to single item multiple level multi-level planning. Okay. So next, this is about the MRP live screen. So we have planning scope. Below that we have plant, material, product group, MRP controller, material scope, and then also including the BOM components, stock transfer materials. All these things are, I mean, most of the same are most of the things are same. So what is the advantage, or what is the exceptional business outcomes with SAP S/4HANA for manufacturing when compared to ECC? Say when you are discussing about that, we can realize 20% of reduction in inventory cost with insight of on planning, and 10% increase in sales volumes, insights from the sales analytics and cockpits, and 22% of savings in maintenance costs for the dairy equipment manufacturers after implementing S/4HANA manufacturing, and 12% improved revenue from SCAP for the tool manufacturer, and 30% reduction in financial month-end closings times for the business. Okay, and this S/4HANA package offering includes SAP ECC to S/4HANA system conversion for one SAP ECC landscape includes sandbox development, quality and production, and Solman new implementations and yearly watch alert EW, right? Setup and activation of 60 standard Fury apps, including dozen of manufacturing related apps, and 200 person hours provisions for handling ABAP customizations. Okay, so these are the main things. And in case of SAP S/4HANA manufacturing challenges, right? So I can say actually what are the challenges? I mean, not challenge. What are the benefits of SAP S/4HANA over the ECC, and what are the challenges? Challenges in this thing, production planning does not consider capacities, that is equipments and staff. Benefit in the sense SAP S/4HANA enables an integrated view of availability and capacity. And in case of challenges, inaccurate manufacturing planning leads to long manufacturing cycles and interested manufacturing costs. And in case benefit, if you are thinking MRP live analyzes requirements and receipts in a real time and detect material shortage as they arise. And challenge, if you consider material shortages do not allow flexible handling of short-term changes in the customer demand. Classic sales and operation planning causes the bullwhip effect as a planning forecasts are not accurate. And in case of benefit of SAP for HANA is considered, with PP or DS, operational production planning can be significantly improved as a live data allows for better business decisions and more precise planning. In this way, delays or setup times can be minimized, or prioritized orders can be scheduled preferentially. Okay, and in case of challenge, higher inventory levels result in the capital commitment or the material shortages caused by the delivery delays. And in case of benefits of SAP S/4HANA is considered, clear visibility across the material flow increases user acceptance and efficiency, and system allows you to simulate different supply scenarios. And with PP bar DS capacity and MRP can be viewed in an integrated manner. And demand driven MRP DDMRP consider customer demand for requirement planning. And next, we are going to discuss about the procurement side. Challenges in the things, forecasting based on Excel sheets and historical experience does not allow for the accurate estimation of supply needs and the strategic sourcing in the earlier case. And benefits in SAP S/4HANA, if you consider SAP S/4HANA is tightly integrated with the inventory management and the planning models, which can be used to drive strategic purchasing automatically for the purchases, issuing POs based on stock levels and forecast models. And if you check the challenges in the traditional system, classical system, lack of transparency complicates the development of an understanding of an inventory and supply chain. And if you think about benefits of SAP S/4HANA, after SAP S/4HANA is implemented in the system, the cloud-based SAP Ariba, that is software as a service SaaS, enable a much greater degree of supply chain visibility and improves ease of case. And in challenges we consider in the traditional system, procurement is often reduced to a tactical experience of obtaining the lower cost, not considering the trade-offs like lower quality or lower supply reliability. Where in case of benefit of SAP S/4HANA is considered improved improves your strategic vision and reduce supply chain risk by forming an optimal mix of suppliers and partners. So the suppliers and I mean the buyers are properly integrated using the Ariba network and collaborate with your suppliers in a demilitarized zone of SAP Ariba, only showing relevant content while being connected to your whole system in the background. And with an understanding of supply base and close collaboration with your suppliers, procurement can be competitive differentiator and innovation enable a source of strength. And first we discussed about the manufacturing benefits of on the SAP S/4HANA, and then procurement, and now final thing is financial advantages or benefits for the in case of SAP S/4HANA is concerned. So first we highlight the challenges in the traditional system. So lack of single source of truth in financial results in the lower confidential figures, whereas in benefit of in SAP S/4HANA is considered the one separate components of financial accounting FI and controlling are combined in the universal journal. Okay, earlier it was separated in the universal journal and separate entities are maintained. Now in SAP S/4HANA both are combined in the universal journal. And inefficient closing procedures creating difficulties when managing progress in monthly, quarterly, or yearly closings in case of ECC and other things. And in case of benefit of SAP S/4HANA, continuous closing or soft close is possible via the embedded analytics, embedded BW and group. And if you take the challenges in case of consolidation process, there is no seamless integration. Seamless consolidation process results in difficult groups reporting in disjoint financial landscape that has too many manual tasks. So each system will have, or each entity will have different system, and they are not having seamless integration. In case of benefits of SAP S/4HANA, actually we have seamless integration. So every system is connected to SAP S/4HANA. SAP S/4HANA is a core system. So SAP S/4HANA Finance for group reporting address consolidation of shortcomings by helping you to deliver your entity and and your group close process on a single system. And in case of traditional ECC, no audit trail linking consolidated the financial statement to the underlying operations and transaction. Or in case of SAP S/4HANA, the benefit is considered SAP Financial Closing Cockpit serves as a single source of truth. It standardizes and automates repetitive tasks in the closing process and adds traceability, reduce the time and efficiency also improved. And SAP S/4HANA removes the separation between the operational and analytical systems and allows business user to access operational data in the real time without detours or delays for analytics. It increases the user efficiency. So based on machine learning and forecasting algorithm, SAP predictive analytics software can predict the probability of future events. Decision makers are supported by the predictive analytics. For example, within human resource management, maintenance, sales, or supply chain management. So first we have in this video we have covered about the innovations or simplification in case of accelerated plant product or manufacturing is considered in SAP S/4HANA, and the about the reporting and the futures, and then about the manufacturing execution system, manufacturing integration and intelligence, and the plant connectivity systems, and the different types of scrap reporting systems, stock inventories management system, or overview of reporting systems, and then actually the migration from ECC to S/4HANA, and then the benefits of SAP S/4HANA and in implementing on the models such as manufacturing, procurement, and finance. So how much percentage was improved in the overall plant efficiency and each individual KPIs in case of a plant or a company implementing SAP S/4HANA. Everything is detailed. And I mean, in my next video, let me show the each the reporting structure with a screenshot. So I think actually these are the main innovations and simplifications one business user can work in SAP S/4HANA. He can feel better than ECC. ECC is a complex system, and system navigation is a bit difficult, and even actually the analysis of inventory is also complex, even for the consultant. But in SAP S/4HANA, we have the donut kind of chart, lean chart, and circular chart, and barcode chart. Whatever different types of chart is available, we can use that. And in case of SAP S/4HANA, manufacturing is tightly integrated with manufacturing and warehouse, and then inventory management and sales processing, everything. So there is no need for trending of data in the Excel sheet, or downloading the Excel sheet, or uploading Excel sheet. Managing the inventories in Excel is not required. You can easily get the trending of data. 360D 365 is overview of each and every process in case of purchasing, sales, and manufacturing. We can easily get. So these are the main advantages. And also let me share you the important manufacturing Fury apps in the comment section. And I hope actually this is very useful for you to go through, or while you are working in the real-time projects, you can check the Fury apps, whatever the Fury apps used in the manufacturing area. So that will be very useful for you. I think actually this video is very useful. And actually, as already said, I will definitely share the screenshot of each reports for the scrap, material shortages, everything. So MRP related and everything. So that will be more helpful. So thanks for watching video, and please thanks for the support. Please subscribe my video and give likes, and also press bell button to to get my posting updates in your in your YouTube section or YouTube blogs. Thanks for watching. Once again, this is Shivakkumar, Shivakkumar signing in. Hello, good morning, everybody. So this is a continuation of SAP S/4HANA Accelerated Plant to Product Manufacturing video we have created, and actually, we are moving to the, we are continuing that. So let's talk about the future of manufacturing, right? The focus of technological change in the manufacturing industries will change in the coming years towards an ultra-connected world. This digital transformation is needed to build a supply chain of the future. That future, stimulated by a rising wave of global uncertainty and business complexity, is coming sooner than many companies expect. In addition, as explained, the latest blogs or videos like advanced availability promise or procurement I have done, for example, consumers accept instant personalized products. So in the same way, the new realities of e-commerce and social media is changing the definition of what is fast evolving customers or ordering practices, as customers expect faster shipping speeds and the last minute supply and design the changes will be common. This driver to meet the customer demand will encourage companies to transform the manufacturing process to become adaptive, fully connected, and even cognizant of its own power quality. Okay, and embedded capacity and detailed planning functionality with SAP S/4HANA 1610. Okay, to help companies to manufacture products on time, SAP offers with SAP ECC a production planning option. These functions are found under material requirement planning MRP and capacity requirement planning CRP. So with advanced planning and optimization SAP APO compared to the possibility uh, in SAP ERP, a capacity and detailed planning functionality with many additional options like heuristics, optimization, and block planning methods. SAP APO is installed as an add-on in SAP ECC for the several years, but now SAP Advanced Planning is delivered as an embedded feature on SAP S/4HANA 1610's release. This means PP/DS is an integral part of the SAP S/4HANA, not an add-on or side-by-side installation, and will be installed and updated together with SAP S/4HANA 1610. It is, however, still separate price list item. In contrast to day-to-day planning in SAP ERP PP/DS in SAP S/4HANA 1610 offers the constraint-based capacity planning, material and capacity constraints in one planning process, simulation versions and transaction simulation, heuristic framework where today's heuristic can be reused, industry-specific features, that is rapid planning matrix RPM, and model mix planning MMP, and a characteristic based forecasting CBP, not a consumption based planning. Okay, with SAP S4 HANA 1610, the existing technological separation of advanced capacity and detailed planning functions from the core ERP function is resolved. This enables the capacity and detailed planning to be operated directly in SAP S4 HANA without the need to install additional components. The entry barrier for the use of high performance capacity and detailed planning components in combination with the proven SAP process is therefore massively reduced. As in SAP ECC delivery PP/DS, in APO, a large number of different planning algorithms are available for demand planning and scheduling, so-called heuristics, in the embedded PP/DS in SAP S/4HANA 1610. On the roadmap for the future release of SAP S/4HANA, we can also expect completely a new production scheduling board in 1610 release. We have the first scope of delivery and interactive and simulation production planning tool, which is based on the modern SAP Fiori user interface, comprehensive plan to produce in one system. To help companies manage in the digital world, SAP will provide through the consistent continuation and further develop in future release of SAP S/4HANA enhancement for the manufacturing area to accelerate their digital transformation. The main objective of the capacity planning includes leveling overloads at work centers for resources and to achieve optimum utilization of work centers and resources. Okay. So this represents a production scheduling board. So all the workloads or all the phases are sequentially scheduled based on the date. So there is no need for misconception or misunderstanding between the stakeholders, and all the people will get equal and proper scheduling of activities, so called like a project charter kind of thing. So everything is well structured, so there is no need for overtime or undertime or actually no loss of cost and everything. So project cost is optimized in production scheduling board. And in summary, the following core supply chain enhancements are included in new SAP S/4 HANA 1610 release. Comprehensive plan to produce is a single system. This means that SAP S/4 HANA 1610, with that we bring the core business process for the material planning together with capacity planning. Just one database to manage, less time for setup, backup, and administration. Constraint-based capacity planning with integrated material requirement planning, simple and seamless integration, easy monitoring with two new SAP Fiori apps for the graphical scheduling board, and monitor capacity utilization. Production planning and detailed scheduling for SAP S/4HANA is a next generation product running on SAP S/4HANA. This functionality introduced in SAP S/4HANA the advanced capacity planning and heuristics for material planning that were available in the SAP Advanced Planning and Optimization module. It is not, however, a legal successor of the production planning and detailed scheduling component. Okay, and it is deployed as a part of supply chain management. Okay, server installations or as an add-on SAP ERP. I mean SAP Enhancement Package 6 version ERP 6.0. You can use SAP PB/DS on for SAP S/4HANA to create procurement proposals for in-house production or external procurement to cover product requirements, optimize and plan schedules, resource schedules, and other data time in detail. Above all, you can use SAP PB/DS for SAP S/4HANA to plan critical products such as products with a long time replenishment lead times or products that are produced on bottleneck resource. Today, we shed light on the technical side of SAP PB/DS and explain what is in it and what is out. SAP Advanced Planning and Optimization APO. SAP APO was originally designed to run on a separate installation and used two databases, SAP database, APO database, and LiveCake. So SAP APO database, APODB, is a regular database in which master data and transactional data are stored. As in SAP APO transaction, data is not stored in tables like SAP ECC. If you want to view or check or extract transaction data, then you will have to use standard BAPIs. These BAPIs are available for different kind of data like sales orders, manufacturing orders, stocks, planned independent requirements, etc. SAP APO is available on SAP HANA since November 2012, accelerating end-to-end process and providing synergies with SAP APO operational analytics deployed on the same HANA server. LiveCake is a database especially designed to handle complex algorithms and calculations that were executed by SAP APO heuristics. This approach allowed SAP APO to run in parallel with SAP ERP Central Component (ECC) without disturbing the business transaction. For SAP APO DB, you can use normal database like Oracle, MS SQL, DB2, MaxDB. For LiveCake, there is no choice as LiveCake is called memory-based database. LiveCake is one of the functions of MaxDB. SAP APO was always restricted to large components due to high cost of ownership and maintenance of complex landscape. It means that small and mid-sized companies could not get benefit of SAP APO functionality such as finite capacity planning during the planning run on the or the material requirement planning MRP. So it calculates in buckets smaller than the days. Therefore, executing MRP runs planned down to hours, minutes, and seconds of a specific date. In the new approach, done by SAP S/4HANA 1610 with embedded production planning and detailed scheduling, LiveCake is integrated in the SAP HANA database, which means that LiveCake is now faster since it runs memory on SAP HANA and maintaining two different databases is obsolete. In addition, SAP PB/DS transactions are executed directly in the SAP S/4HANA, which means that you no longer need a separate installation to run SAP PB/DS transactions. The material master and the work center's creation is also synchronous, and a material or a work center that has been created can be immediately available for planning SAP PB/DS. So core interface SIF, the connection between ECC and APO. The data exchange between SAP ECC and APO is done by interface called the SIF and provides the following central functions. So what are the SIF functionalities? Okay, or functions. Determination of source and target system within the complex system environment. Supply of SAPO with APO supply of SAP APO with the master and transactional data relevant to planning. Transfer of changes to transfer transaction data. returns of planning results from APO. The SIF integration occurs via a remote function called RF feeds and inbound or outbound queues where data is processed when received or sent. SAP ECC data is frequently stuck on these queues, causing disruptions in the supply chain planning process. With SAP S/4HANA, we introduced with 1.5.11 release a data model simplification is in financial table AC DOCA and also in logistic table MATDOC. This simplification in the logistics area help us to reduce the complexity of the SIF interface as we have now one material master and one resource maintenance. We can create and update the data for source of supply without queues. It also means that you don't need to maintain an integration model or to transfer material master and work center through SIF anymore. So comprehensive plan to produce in one system. In many customer cases, unconstrained material and resource planning, right, MRP, is used alongside the constraint based planning and scheduling. Many customers run two systems sequentially with embedded PPDS in SAP S/4HANA 160 on a single shared platform, therefore having capacity to harmonize single MRP run. The MRP now can also plan SAP PPDS materials together with SAP ERP materials, and there is a single report to convert the planned order, whereas in the past we had one or two SAP APO materials and another one for SAP ERP materials. Other major benefit that material masters and resource maintenance come from same resource and integration is significantly simplified. So the user interface of MRP SAP Fury apps has been renovated and SAP and above we can see the examples of monitor material coverage. The main enhancements are with introduction of SAP Fury 2.0, the app title is moved into the header title or a header line and user settings are located on the left. The self-coded filters have been replaced by the use of generic filter bar. More filters are offered now. The chart for stock availability is now configurable. We can choose time frame from 7 days to 26 weeks. Due to the use of full screen on desktop, more columns can be displayed side by side so that lines are smaller and the app can display more lines. Okay, this is a renovated MRP SAP Fury app. So we can see the bars which shows that whether which status it is progressing. So this shows the monitor material coverage app. Okay. So the new user experience with SAP Fury apps with embedded production planning and detailed scheduling directly in SAP S/4HANA. The benefit that the users are working with one coherent applications with consistent look and feel. The initiative navigation. In the same way, the users have simplified navigation across SAP PPDS and SAP ERP and are working with one SAP Fury based planner launchpad for material flow and capacity. Three new SAP Fury apps has been added with 1610 release. The production scheduling board app, the monitor capacity utilization app, the MRP app create optimal orders for shipment. Production scheduling board app, which is with this product feature, you can optimize and um, plan the resources schedule and other data and timely or timelines in detail by taking resource and components availability into account. So this shows the new production scheduling board app. So you can see how that the phases are structured with the based on the date, how the work is sequenced. Okay, so you can see that and monitor capacity utilization app. With this app, you can monitor the utilization of resources in selected area of responsibility and this list provides you with a quick overview of which resources are already being fully utilized or have capacity overload. So you can use or react quickly the critical situations. Furthermore, you can easily dis discern which resources have capacity and load and whose utilization is in the normal range. So the evaluation profile you choose defines which orders or operations the system takes into account, as well as the utilization rate percentage, right? So it uses for calculating the capacity utilization of the resource. By selecting an evaluation horizon, you can restrict the time frame of your evaluation. The app offers also the possibility to directly navigate to the resource planning table back and transactions to the production scheduling Fury app. Okay, so this shows a new monitor capacity utilization app. Okay, so then we have a new create optimal order for shipment app. Okay, yeah, and the material and production planning create optimal orders for the shipment app, right? So the app create optimal orders for shipment is listed or listing in all the materials which have to be ordered within the near future, depending on the delivery time and goods processing time. The quantity which is needed to solve the first shortage is proposed, and the stock availability chart is displaying the simulated stock situation when ordering this quantity. A single material can be ordered directly, or you can choose to place a combined orders for one vendor. Calculate net requirements and generates production plan to the precision of second for the complete product flow. Okay, so this shows a progress. And so release information note, right? Actually, according to the people, plan to product, accelerated plan to product, right? So which shows 2381624. Please have a look on note 2381624. Release information node, right, for production planning and detailed scheduling PP per DS for SAP S4HANA 1610. To be able to use production planning and detailed scheduling for SAP S4HANA, you must activate advanced planning and scheduling in the backend system. In customizing, choose advanced planning, a basic settings, activate advanced planning and scheduling. This feature is activated by the advanced planning and scheduling switch are not part of the standard SAP S/4HANA license. A dedicated license for advanced planning and scheduling is required if the switch is set to active. See also the below notes 2372590 simplification list. So production planning and detailed scheduling for SAP S/4HANA 1610 shows a simplification list for all these things. And 2353836 release information node, that is monitor capacity utilization app, production scheduling board app on SAP Fury for S4 HANA 1610. Release SAP S4 HANA, that is 10 bar 2016. Okay. Restrictions and limitations. Please have a look at SAP Note 2382787. So which recommends implementation recommendation for production planning and detailed scheduling for SAP S/4HANA 1610. This note provides information about the release recommendations for production planning and detailed scheduling for SAP S/4HANA 1610. When production planning and detailed scheduling for SAP S/4HANA 1610 was released, some restrictions still applied to the productive use of certain functions in the area of production planning and detailed scheduling. SAP wishes to inform customers of these restrictions and provide some recommendations, right? So SAP manufacturing Fury apps. We can see the Fury apps in Fury apps library. We can please see the below description box in this video. Hope this is very useful when you are involved in SAP S/4HANA manufacturing process configuration. So I have shared the SAP node release notes for S/4HANA for PP/DS. So which covers the running end-to-end cycle. Thanks for the continuous support and wishes. This is Shivakkumar signing off. Thanks for watching my videos. Have a nice day.